Yes guys and girls, how are we all doing today? We are back with another video and we've got a good one today. We're going through some basic tips to improve your betting for the upcoming season. We've got all the big boy leagues starting this weekend. A few of the other leagues have started already, but you know, the big ones start this weekend, so it's best to be prepared. Now these tips are basic, but they are extremely crucial. If you don't follow these simple tips, then you're not going to get anywhere this season and you're just going to throw away a ton of money, which we don't want. If you're new around here and you're not yet subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got loads of videos for the new season which will improve your betting massively. Okay guys, so let's dive in, and the first tip is setting a budget and sticking to it. As it's the start of the season, I would recommend looking at how much money you've got and how much money you are willing to lose. So if you've got 500 spare, if you've got 100 spare, or if you've got £50 spare, just know that there's a chance that all this money could just go in a couple of weeks or in a day or whatever if you're a bit stupid.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
But you've got to have money set aside for your betting which you are happy to lose. You don't want to be risking your mortgage or money behind your wife's backs and she finds out and she kicks you out and you're left in the street. None of that. So let's keep it safe to start with. So only deposit money that you can afford to lose. So once you know how much you're willing to put into your betting account, deposit that amount, do one set amount. I'm not really a fan of putting in £20 here and £50 here, and this week you're going to do £20 worth of bets, and it's just all over the place. You can't keep track. So set aside how much you want and deposit all of it in one go. So let's just say you've got £500 you're willing to lose throughout the season. Pop it into your account. And then the next thing, which I won't go into too much detail, is the staking plan. You don't want to change your stakes too often, and sometimes you go for higher stakes if you're really confident on a bet. You think, right, this is definitely going to come in, so you put like 30% of your betting bank balance onto that bet, and it ends up losing, and you've just wiped 30%. And then the next bet, you're going to think, oh, I need to chase that back, and so you do another higher bet, and that's what most people do. And you're probably sitting there and you're thinking, damn, you're right, because you've probably done it. Everyone's done it, and for long-term betting gains, you cannot be doing that. You will just lose your money. I like to stick to a maximum of 3% per bet of my betting bank balance. So let's just say I've got £100 in my betting bank balance. My bet will be 3%, which is just £3 per bet. But as your bank balance goes up or it goes down, you update your 3%. So if you then, over a couple of weeks, you get up to £150, you work out the 3%, and that'd be your new stake. That would mean your stake would now be £4.50, and then as you go up, you can increase it, etc. But just always stick to the 3%. You can update it, you can look how much is in your betting bank balance, how much has gone up, and then update the 3%. But when you're on a good run, don't start doing 10% per bet, or if you're on a bad run, don't start doing 10, 20%. Just stick to the 3% no matter what. There is sometimes when I do a lower stake per bet, so I might do half a point instead. So instead of 3% of my bank balance, it'll be 1.5%, and that's because the odds are really high. There's much higher risk. So if it was to win, you gain loads of points back. It just makes more sense. Okay, so when you're doing really high odds occasionally, then just do 1.5%. Now on to the next tip, which is make sure you do your research. There is loads of stat websites out there you can use. One of my favorites is Footy Stats. That's good for pre-match stats if you're looking at who's on form. When do goals most often happen in the first half, second half? The percentage of both teams scoring. It covers everything, Footy Stats. And to be fair, I use it for in-play as well. So that's a good website to use. It's free to use. I think if you have the free membership, you can use it a certain amount per day, and then you've also got a premium account on there which is like £20 a month or something, but for most people the free account will do. There's also another app you can use on your phone which is called FOTMOB, FOTMOB. Download that. Again, that's free. That's really good at looking at shots on targets and tackles, and it's very in-depth, especially in play. That's worth looking at. At the end of this video, I will tag 2 different videos to take a look at. One's looking at what software and websites to use in more detail, and the other one will be another useful video. I'm not sure yet, but at the end of this video I'll ping 2 videos here to check out. Yeah, when you're doing your research, you want to look into as much detail as possible. If you're looking at yellow cards, look at the ref's history. If you're looking at what players get shots on target, are they going to be definitely starting? You know, a lot of teams rotate a lot, like City. You also want to look at team news as well. Especially if you're doing player bets, make sure you see the lineup first, because you never know, they might have a last minute injury. So yeah, just make sure you cover all research angles to protect your bet. And so when you place your bet, you are fully confident that you are happy with your decision. So that goes on to tip 3, which is bet with your head and not with your heart. You've got to try your best to not put too much emotion into your bets. And this happens to me too. I do bets on West Ham sometimes, which I shouldn't have really done. I'm thinking with my heart here. I think we're going to get back into a game, or I think Bowen's going to get a shot on target when he's not even playing that well and stuff. So the best thing to do is just avoid betting on your own team, to be honest. I try to avoid it as much as I can now. So especially in my Telegram groups, I never really do West Ham bets anymore, because in reality, it's probably more emotional than anything. So try to leave your teams out of it, because if you bet with your emotion, it's going to cloud your judgment and it's going to lead to poor decisions and poor bets, and it's just not the way to go. What you can do is, before you place your bet, just give yourself 10-20 seconds just to like sit there, close your eyes if you have to, and just think, right, I'm actually betting this with my head or my heart. Just clarify with yourself, and yeah, just have a little think before you place your bet. Now, tip 4 would be to shop around for the best odds. So some bookies are best for in-plays, some are best for pre-match. So it depends what market you use the most. Sometimes one bookie might be good at corner bets, whereas the other one might be better at goal bets and give you better odds. So just have a little shop around depending on what you bet on the most, and just make sure you're using the right bookie for you. Because over time, even though it might be a small difference, but you can imagine over the space of a whole season, all the bets you're placing, them little differences at the end of the season will make a big difference. They'll all build up. So yeah, just make sure you're getting the right odds for the market you're on. Now personally, I do all my serious bets on the Betfair exchange, because there's no risk of my account getting closed, because as you can imagine, I do win quite a lot, and with other bookies such as 365 and William Hill and all that crap, eventually they will ban your ass and they will stop you from earning money. I will make another video of that soon, probably next week, and I'll go into more detail about these scummy companies.
I hate you!
But yeah, personally, I just use the exchange and I do a lot of single bets. Now, tip 5 is keep a record of all your bets. It might sound a bit long to do, but trust me, in the short term and long term, it's so helpful. So by doing this, you can write down every single bet you're doing, the odds, if it won or lost. And over a period of time, you can start to see trends with what you're best at. Are you good at corners? Are you good at goals? Are you good at straight wins? You get a clear picture of where you've got the best strike rate, and then you can just focus on that market instead. So a few years ago, I used to do all different types of bets: corners, cards, shots on targets. But over a period of years, I've narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 markets which I use the most, because that's what works best for me and it's proven in my logbooks. It also makes you more accountable, because you're writing down all the bets. Just so you lose quite a lot in a row, you can look back and think, right, I shouldn't have placed that one because of this or this or this. And you can start to see if you were betting emotionally or not, because sometimes you're watching a game, you just dive in, you place your bet, and then it doesn't win, and you realise, oh, I shouldn't have done that because, I don't know, they're 2-0 down, they're parking the bus or whatever. But if you write it down and you can look back on your history, you can start to see where you've placed emotional bets and cut it out. Let's have a quick recap. Tip 1, set a budget and stick to it, and stick to the staking plan. Tip number 2 is do thorough research before placing your bet. Tip number 3, bet with your head and not your heart. Tip number 4, shop around for the best odds and find the best bookie for you. I recommend Betfair Exchange. Tip number 5, keep a record of all your bets and be more accountable. So yeah, it's 5 basic tips, but it gives you a good head start coming into the season to make your betting safer and better, and so you can improve throughout the season. I do have a free Telegram channel, because all the bets I do are in play. So if you want some free in-play tips, you can join the free Telegram, and I'll post the link below. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think, if there's anything more you can add to it. And like I said, if you're not yet subscribed, please do, because we've got loads of content coming out. And please like the video if you did enjoy it. And that's it. I'll speak to you guys in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.